Hi, my name is RG, I'm the founder of Synthonic Audio, and today I'm gonna walk you through our new instrument, Monomy. So for this project, there were basically two things that I wanted to cover. First, I wanted to create an instrument that sounds as warm and rich as an analog synth. And second, I wanted to keep it flexible. So when you sample a synth, you record it note by note. You capture the sound just the way it is in that moment, but you also turn it into a stiff recording. So when I designed the patches on the synths, there were always one or two settings for which I couldn't decide how to tweak them. So I ended up saving multiple versions and I wanted to incorporate that into Monomy. So I recorded those versions and created the source knob to blend them. The source knob is not a switch, so you don't have to choose one version. You can actually blend them, so it's basically parallel processing. But let's use an example for this. So this is one of the instruments. It's called Puzzled Overload, and I played a lot with the polymod settings on the original synth, the Trigon 6, and created this very unique distortion. Let me play some notes while moving the knobs so you can get an idea of it. As you can hear, you can really mess with the sound. Let's quickly go into another one. This one is called Monomy and it's more of a bass instrument. So for this one, I've sampled the oscillators separately, allowing you to fade them in and detune the second oscillator, which is a super powerful thing on the OBX8. I will show more of it later when I really walk through the instruments, so now let's get back to the rest of the knobs. There are 26 instruments and 14 multis in Monomy. All of them started from an analog synth, but they are very different from each other. So you have string sounds, keys, brass, leads, bass heavy sounds, and all of them needed different treatments. Therefore I didn't use this one formula like an FX chain that you just slam onto your recordings and go for it, because that way you can get a good result but not the best result. And I wanted to get the most out of every patch. So I've used a different approach for every sound, so there's not this one thing that a knob in Monomy does, it's always different. Besides that, on the left there's the Modulation Slider, which most often does anything filter related. So for most of the patches there's a ladder filter attached and you can play with the cutoff frequency. Sometimes it subtly adds other stuff as well. This could be a LFO that is attached to the pitch, the volume or other things. And then you have the space knob. For a lot of the patches I've included another layer of recording groups, which is a well-chosen selection of effects that all together subtly open up the sound. Hard to explain but pretty easy to hear. While doing that, depending on the preset, it can add other stuff as well. This could be a delay, a combination of LFOs, beat-related options or a reverb. In general, it widens the sound, it spaces it out. A last cool thing about the reverb actually. So for synthesizers I mainly use this one effect pedal, and using impulse responses I've managed to get the sound into Monomy. So Monomy uses its own unique reverb. And lastly there's the Arpeggiator. It's basically just there for creativity enhancement and fast idea finding, so I wanted the Arpeggiator to be just one click away. By clicking the red lamp you can just turn it on or off. There are 4 sync tempo modes, and actually if you deselect all the 4 buttons, there is a 5th tempo. And then there are 4 directions, just up and then down and then up. It's pretty intuitive and mainly there for you to find ideas very fast. And then, of course, there are the amplifier envelopes, attack, hold, decay, sustain and release. You probably know them from any other instrument. I guess that was all about the functions and the background, so let's get into the patches.